Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're actually going to do the decorating of this LapBook and get the closure on it. And I'm going to give you a little peek. I'm not going to do a flip right now. What I'm going to do is do a second flip of everything down the road, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the decoration we're going to put in. I chose to use some big sheets of wallpaper that coordinated together to get all my decorating from. There was a lot of fussy cutting. I am not going to make you watch all that, nor am I going to make you watch every single little piece of decorating, but this is a general idea of what it's going to do today. And so I hope you enjoy watching this episode of the LapBook project, and I'll talk to you later. As I said, there was a lot of fussy cutting. It's funny, but I like those bigger, heavier scissors over the little tiny ones for some reason when I'm fussy cutting. I will grab the little ones first and then turn around and grab those bigger ones. I will tell you that I spent several evenings cutting out, fussy cutting these flowers. I could have torn them. It just didn't seem like that would be what I wanted in the book with the background I had put down. It just seemed like I wanted the roses to stand out on top. For the most part, these roses were 3 or 4 different pages from a wallpaper book that I used to put on this LapBook. I used art glitter glue to glue them down. All of my background pages have Mod Podge and my Mod Podge and glue mixture, so they're a little slick. You need something that's going to attach, and that art glitter glue does work beautifully. If you don't know, there's a link down below. It's an Amazon link. In all of my videos, I try to link some of my favorites. I've just recently been sort of turned on to this glue by Lisa from My Eclectic Life. She's been using it for a long time, and I had other glues I used and I was happy with them, and then it just seemed like that she kept talking about it, and I thought, I'm going to try this, and I really do like it. I really like it. So sometimes the piece didn't fit, so I just went on to another spot. That wallpaper had both the roses and the large, almost white designs, and I decided I would use both of them, and I really like how it came out. It wasn't all just the roses. It had that little bit of difference by having the white background sort of design on it. That piece right there. And right now I'm just kind of getting a general bit down on as far as the decoration goes. I'm just going in and flipping back and forth, grabbing a piece and seeing what fits and what goes where, and finding something that I like on it. The other thing I wanted was to have little surprises here and there. Parts of it will be on top, parts of it will be underneath. One of the important parts about putting a decoration, especially wallpaper on, is to make sure you get the edges glued down. And that's one of the nice things about that art glitter glue and the fine line applicator that it's got. Here I'm working to decorate the folios that I have that go in the center. I put 4 elastics in the center, so I created 4 folios. You've seen me do that. Um, 2 of them are basically just pockets, and 2 of them have writing papers in them. So 2 are a little more like journals, and 2 are uh, added additional pockets that you can take out. I decorated them just like I decorated the book with the same decorations. When it comes to the writing paper tablet ones, I didn't decorate the insides as much as I did these. As you can see, some of the decorations were considerably bigger than others. I I thought that also kind of gave it a little bit of contrast as far as what was going on in the book. It just seemed like all the little tiny ones didn't fit, where having large and small ones seemed to work together. I did sort of collage some of the pieces together. In cutting out the wallpaper, I found that there were pieces that just didn't really work. It was hard to make them look right when they were cut out. So I used parts and pieces of things and created my own sort of design by collaging them together. And here's what I'm talking about, having just something little up in the corner there, just to add a little bit of interest on there. And that's the back cover, but it shouldn't be totally boring to have a back cover. And like I said, there was a lot of fussy cutting, so I worked on this quite a bit, off and on, for a week, better than a week, I'm pretty sure. Okay, where I want to decorate the covers, and I decorated the covers before I actually finished inside, because I wanted to make sure I had enough of the pieces that I needed. Um, when it all boils down, there are actually 4 covers to decorate: the 2 outside covers and then the 2 inside covers. And I knew I wanted to carry the collage book page elements to the cover, but I also loved how much what the cover looked like with the brown paper that I put on it, so I didn't want to cover it all up. So I decided on using just a piece of it and inking it, creating sort of just another little element in the collage. Um, as I did everything else in the book. I inked it. I also decided I did not want the roses to be just slapped on top of that, so they um, kind of come off the edges a little bit. The brown paper cover is not smooth, so I was concerned about everything really sticking to the cover. Um, Once I got it all glued on there, um, I weighted it down. I think I'll show you that here in a minute. I just put some books on top of it. I may not show you with this one, maybe the next one before yeah. I actually put books on top of it before I went on to the next piece. And here again, this are the two inside covers, and I'm going to do something similar as far as using the book paper and my elements. There you can see where I put the book on it. I found that if I stuck the large book paper piece down well in between, it helped things to stick down a little bit better. It, each one of the covers was just a little bit different as far as how textured they were. It was all about the wrinkles in that brown paper from the beginning. And I just really wanted to make sure they were going to stay on and be nice and flat. I really like how the brown paper shows. It was very fun making the brown paper cover, and I really like how it shows in the end. I like how that it's not totally there, but it did take me a while to decide what and how I was going to decorate it with. I loved the collaged element of the book pages. That came out just like I wanted it to. Then adding the rest, the the roses and things over the top really made me happy. Um, okay, I had some leftover pieces that I had collaged the book paper onto cardstock. So, why should I waste them? The LapBook has tons of pockets. So here what I'm doing is just taking some of that leftover book paper and creating some tags. I did not overstuff this LapBook. It has some things in it, but it is not, by no means is there something even in every pocket. But I did put a few things in. Okay, I also had some tiny little roses, and that is just a cream colored copy paper that I have. It's a little bit nicer weight than copy paper. So I took the little tiny roses and I just put them on the corner and made sort of like journal paper or um, writing paper on them. Created a whole little batch of them so they were to be tucked in just like tags. Something very simple, very easy, just a little addition to the LapBook. Now I still had some small little pieces of the book paper, and I wanted to make some little charms. So what I did was I cut, those are like a 1-inch circle punch that I had, and of course I inked the edges, and then I put some, oh, I want to call them rivets, and that's not what they are. Eyelets. Eyelets is what they are. Put eyelets in each one, and then I glued some little tiny roses to them. And those are ready as charms. And now I have this, it's a package of Tim Holtz buckles. They have a hole in them. You use a brad to hold them on. Well, I used a brad and glue. They are my closure after all, so I figured they might take some abuse. And then that little black strip of leather is a handle off of a wallpaper book. So it had holes in each end, one hole in each end, but it was too wide to go through the buckle. So now that looks so easy. I will tell you that my hand was tired after I cut that leather down. I was pretty pleased with how straight I was able to cut it. And I probably could have cut it with a knife, but it seemed like it was a little easier to cut. I thought, oh, will my corner jumper cut that? And then it wouldn't. I had hoped for a prettier curve on it. Well, I didn't get it narrow enough. So I have to go back and trim off the other side just a little bit. And because it was just such a tiny little bit, I didn't try making a line. I just cut it off. But what I'm creating there is a belt that will buckle into that buckle. And once it slides through and I'm happy with it, I decide I want holes in it, and I want holes about every half inch because the book is not full right now. I know that over time that book is going to get full without filling it up with all the pockets and things like that. So I need this belt to buckle relatively snug right now, but then down the road it needs to be able to expand. So I put holes in it about every half inch. And I'm just using the small hole in my big bite. It went right through that leather just fine. I did have to squeeze pretty hard. As you can tell, my head keeps coming into the picture. But now I have little holes every half inch, and it will buckle right into my um, buckle there. Now I decide I'm going to put buckles on both the front and the back. If I had wanted to save one of my buckles, I probably could have put the buckle just on one side, but I really liked the look of the buckles on both the front and the back. Um, and those are little safety pins, so I must have decided to do something else. Either that or I glued the buckles on and went on to something else. That may be what happened. But I have little safety pins and I have some bulb pins, and I'm just kind of creating a little charm with my little um, dangles there. See, and I'm going to just buckle it right onto the elastic that's on the front. I got very lucky in that the brads holding the buckles on went right through without any problems. I also used my big bite to poke a hole for the brad, which I had a couple of extra charms. It didn't seem like that I really needed on the charm dangle on the front, and I decide that I'll safety pin them to the a couple of the tags. I thought they came out cute on there, and they just added another little element to the tags. And I just popped those tags in just here and there. Um, I had some tags. I ended up with some journal cards. That was one of those little journal cards. Uh, as I said, this is sort of a naked journal. It doesn't have a ton of stuff tucked in it, but I wanted to have a little bit of that stuff kind of tucked in it. I thought it just kind of added to it. Plus, like I said, I had everything. I had those pieces left over, and I just couldn't see not tucking them in. I will be doing a flip of this book. Um, I will show you all of the little pullouts and everything that goes with it here in the next week or so. Um, I'm really pleased with how the buckle came out. I just love how it looks. Okay.